start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karne Shrunya Devah Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Jatra Stirairangaihi Sushuvagum Satvihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Kritashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastakshorarishthanenihi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are studying Mandukya Upanishad, second chapter, with Shankara Bhashyam. The second chapter is the elaboration on one word of the seventh mantra, Prapancha Upashamam. What the Upanishad wants to reveal to us is the unmanifest nature of Prakriti. Prakriti means nature, Panchabhutas. They have two conditions. Manifest, which is called as Vyakrita Prapancha. Avyakrita Prapancha means unmanifest condition. These two conditions are important when you study Turiya Avastha. Turiya Avastha is the fourth state according to the Mandukya, the first 6 mantras. So what do we have to understand? I am an individual. I am experiencing the world and myself. I have a condition of being unmanifest, which is called as the sleep state. The waking state is called as the manifest condition. So Prapancha Upashamam means the entire universe, including my body, my mind, the world outside me, everything goes into unmanifest condition. We have finished 4 Karikas of this chapter. Today we are going to start the 5th Karika. The 5th Karika is still an elaboration of the dream prapancha, the Swapna prapancha. Let us listen to the commentary. Let's listen to the mantra first, and then we will see the commentary.
Swapna Jagarita Sthane Swapna Jagarita Sthane Yekamahurmanishinaha Yekamahurmanishinaha Vedanam hi samatvena Vedanam hi samatvena Prasiddhenaiva hetuna Prasiddhenaiva hetuna.
This is a continuation of the 4th mantra, the 4th Karika, where Gaudapadacharya says, the waking state is also drishyam, it is seen, it is perceived by the sense organs. The dream state is also perceived by the mind. There are no sense organs which are the external sense organs which are available to us in the waking state, they are not available in the dream state. So the dream world is projected by the mind. There also we see the world. But that sees in the dream world is a projected body. It's a projected mind, projected sense organs which are appearing. Whereas the waking state constitutes the Panchabhutas. So what Gaudapadacharya says in this mantra is, because both are drishyam, both are perceived, they have a similarity. Let us look at the slides. Our angle is Jagrat and Swapna is same from one angle. Our angle means the Advaitins angle. What is common between both of them? Both of them, according to Gaudapadacharya, the author of this Karikas, both are Mithya. Mithya means it is appearing, but it does not have an independent existence. Drishyatvam is common to both of them. Then there is a technical word used, jnana adhyasa, artha adhyasa. Now these two words, if you want to understand fully, you have to go to another text called as Vicharasagara by Nishala Dasa. There this jnana adhyasa and artha adhyasa are taken for analysis in about 4 or 5 pages. But here what we should understand is, I am consciousness without adhyasa, without any superimposition. When my mind is awake in the dream state, there is a jnanam, there is a knowledge which is available of the dream world, without the sense organs of the waking state. So this is called as jnana adhyasa. Even during waking state, there is jnana adhyasa. But to make it very clear, what is jnana adhyasa? It means knowledge about some world, either dream world or waking. Is taking place where? It is taking place in the mind. Whether it is waking or dream, it is taking place in the mind. Only when the mind is active, this adhyasa comes in, this superimposition comes in. What is artha adhyasa? Artha adhyasa means the adhyasa born out of sense objects. For example, we have a wall, we have a mic, we have a world which is outside us, a table, chair. Now, all this is entering into our mind in the form of vritti. So that is what is called as adhyasa, a superimposition of the external world through the vritti in our mind. Who am I? I am Turiya Atma without any adhyasa. See, these are all words and technical details which are given to us so that I can try to own up that pure consciousness as my nature. All these details, all these karikas are all meant for only one thing. They are trying to reveal my nature as pure Chaitanya. Without the body, without the world. So keep that in mind. In the waking state and the dream state realms, the diverse objects, they look diverse. They look bhinnaha. There is variety in them. But even if there is variety, what Gaudaparacharya wants to state is they are all Mithya because they don't have an independent existence. Therefore, they are unreal. Drishyatvam is the main reason which is given. And when we say, I am a knower of the world, who is the knower? Knower is a waker, either a dreamer or a sleeper. So, who says, I dreamt, I slept, I am awake? It is one individual only who says, I had all these three experiences. So, the knower is with the world or without the world. If you say, I am the knower with the world, you are an ajnani. You are a relative knower. It is only with reference to the waking world we are saying, I am a waker. Only with reference to the dream world, I am saying a dreamer. So what Gaudaparacharya says is, waker, dreamer, sleeper are all relative states of one Turiya Atma. The Turiya Atma has got no world. That is why in the seventh mantra it says na anta prajnam, na bahish prajnam, na ubhayata prajnam, na prajnam. That means waking world is negated, dream world is negated, and the sleep world of ajnanam is negated. In this fifth mantra, Gaudapadacharya uses two words, grahyam and grahakam. Grahakam means the waker, dreamer, sleeper, the experiencer. Grahya means the objects in the three states. What he says is this grahya, grahaka, bhava is false. I am experiencing a world, I am experiencing all these worldly experiences of so many things, right? From marriage to birth to death, all these are only experiences. What we are trying to find out is what is the absolute nature of myself? When you want to answer that question, you have to drop this grahya, grahaka, bhava. This happens both in the Swapna as well as in the waking state. A person who is a jnani, who is a vivek, who has got viveka, he has the courage to say that this world is a mithya prapancha. What about avivekas? The other philosophers like Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, they are all different philosophers who look at the world, but they have a vision of Dvaitam. Whereas Advaitam is our philosophy. The second chapter and the third chapter, when you go through these verses, it gives us the conviction of mithyatva. So when you go all these verses, about 38 verses are there in this second chapter. Aham satyam jagan mithya jivo brahmaiva naparaha. I repeat this sentence very often. Where is this sentence? Where is it this sentence comes from? Shankaracharya quotes this in almost every Upanishad bhasha. Because that is his fundamental revelation. After studying the Upanishad, Shankaracharya has got only one line. In every Upanishad Bhashyam, Shankaracharya uses this line, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. This comes in Brahma Jnanavalli Mala. This is a text written by Shankaracharya, Brahma Jnanavalli Mala. So there he has put this very clearly. I have taken 3 or 4 sessions on Brahma Jnanavalli Mala by Shankaracharya. It is there in my website. And I have discussed this in great detail in those talks. So there are 2 standpoints. One is with reference to the ego, I. With reference to the ego, I will say I am a waker, dreamer, sleeper. If I say that, according to Vedanta, I am an ajnani. I am an ignorant person. But who is a jnani then? A jnani is the one who claims the 7th mantra as his swarupa. It is satyam, it is nityam, it is buddham, it is mukha. The whole 7th mantra is my own description. So at any time you want to meditate, one word of the 7th mantra, prapancha upashamam, prapancha upashamam. You can sit in meditation and keep repeating these words and see the meaning of the words. Prapancha upashamam means I am existing without the word. That is my swarupa. That is my nature. But what about this body, mind, and this world? Incidental. Veda says it is incidental, and I believe it because I accept Veda as a praman. So what Shankaracharya says is, from the balcony of Turiya alone, we can say dreamer, sleeper, and the waker are all ahamkara jiva. They are temporary experiences. They are not the intrinsic nature of the jiva. This is the mantra which I always quote. It is not conscious of the external world, eternal world, or no world. But then who am I? I am the pure consciousness, which is avyavaharyam. It is achintyam. I cannot think about it because mind is born out of consciousness. It is a product. So product cannot understand the cause. The cause has to be known only from another source of knowledge, which is the Veda. So in this Karika, we are trying to what we have done is both Swapna, that we dream is Mithya is very easy. That you just say it came, it went. It was Drishyam, experienceable. What Upadacharya says is apply the same rule in the waking also. Don't look at anything. Is it experienced by you? It is false. Whatever it is, you may be experiencing a marriage, you may be experiencing so many events in the world. Go through the experiences. What Gaudapadacharya says, if you really want to know, are they really existing or not? They are existing while we are experiencing, but wise man, he asks the question, are they real from the Turiyam stand? Because he has learned how to stand on Turiyam. How to stand on Turiyam? As pure consciousness. Don't forget that, because if you have any questions on what I'm saying now, please ask me in the chat box. Get it clarified once and for all. Any doubt you have, you put it in the chat. It may be the silliest doubt. Doesn't matter. Because that is the way to learn. Because uh, all this teaching which we are trying to go through of Shankaracharya is meant for us. Is meant for us to transform our vision of the world. That's all. Our vision will change. For the sixth Karika, it's a very, very important Karika. Please mark this in your books. Very important Karika. I have given some introduction last time, but today I'm going to take the sixth Karika and Shankaracharya. It is a very important Karika. You have to do a lot of manana in this Karika. So there are 3 or 4 such Karikas in this Mandukya Upanishad. You should never forget it like the 7th. What is this Karika and what does it say? Yeah, Gaudapadacharya makes a very bold statement. That which does not exist in the beginning, that which does not exist in the end, also does not exist in the middle. This is a fact. They are identical with unreal objects. They are regarded as though real. So what it means is when we go through this whole Karika explanation, you will understand the full significance of this introduction. So Gaudapadacharya has got a simple reason to say that the world is Mithya. World is Karyam. It is a product. Any product is Anitya. This is the rule. There is a cause, there is an effect. Cause is permanent, effect is temporary. Gold is permanent, bangle chain is available for experience, available to use them, but it is anityam. The name, form, and functions are anityam, they are impermanent. So you can have 2 views on whenever you look at the ornament. You can have the view of the permanent gold or have the view of a temporary ring or a bangle or chain. How do I apply this to the Vedanta? Whenever we are in the waking state, dream state, sleep state, we can know that this is an incidental thing. What is permanent? What is permanent is Turiyam. Turiya, without this, that is the cause. Ultimate cause of the world is Turiya, which is pure consciousness. So starting from Panchabhutas, the entire Srishti has got manifest condition, unmanifest condition. The manifest condition is nothing but it is a potential condition along with the cause. So when the cause is there, there is a potential world along with the cause. Suppose I stand on Turiya. Suppose I know I am pure consciousness and I meditate. How should I meditate? I should meditate in such a way that I am Turiyam is the ultimate cause. But the world is there or not in Turiyam? World is potentially there in Turiyam. The same world becomes manifest. When the world is manifest, the consciousness Turiyam is there or not? It is there. So Turiyam is permanent. World has got the 2 conditions of manifest and unmanifest. This Shankaracharya brings it beautifully in Aitareya Bhashyam. In the first verse of Aitareya Bhashyam, Aitareya Upanishad. So there the Upanishad says that this Brahman alone was there in the beginning. Beginning means before this universe was born, Brahman alone was there. Brahman alone is there even after Srishti. So what is the difference between Brahman without the Srishti and Brahman with the Srishti? Brahman without the Srishti means it is an unmanifest condition. Brahman with Srishti means it is the manifest condition of the world. Manifest, unmanifest belongs to the world of Panchabhutas, does not belong to the pure consciousness. So, this Mithyatvam, you can consider it as either is Drishyam and Mithya. That is what Shankaracharya uses. In his commentary of these mantras, Shankaracharya says it is Drishyam, so it is Mithya, therefore waking and dream is Mithya. Gaudapadacharya says it is Anitya. The world is Anitya. That is what he is explaining in the 6th verse. World is impermanent. Therefore, this is product. It is a karyam. It takes some time for beginners to understand this karyam, karanam, and all that, but keep listening. As you listen, these technical topics will become more and more clear. Repeated listening of these reasons. As we go through these bhashyams slowly, we will be repeating these reasons many, many times. So objects in the waking state are mithya, false. Either you can say because it is nishyam or it is anityam. Let's now go to the 6th mantra, 6th karika, and see.
आदावन्ते च यन्नास्ति आदावन्ते च यन्नास्ति वर्तमानेऽपि तत्थता वर्तमानेऽपि तत्थता वितथैः सदृशा सन्तः वितथैः सदृशा सन्तः अवितथा इव लक्षिताः अवितथा इव लक्षिताः.
So what does Gaudapadacharya says? That which is non-existent in the beginning, it is also non-existent in the end. Therefore, I conclude that it is not existent in the middle. World was not existent before creation. Whenever the creation happened, don't worry about it. World was not existent. But consciousness was there. Pure consciousness, the Turiya, was there. That is what the Veda says. God was there. God means pure consciousness. In the end, what happens? The creation is dissolved. Layas, it happens. This is what happens in Layam, Pralayam. World is gone. But consciousness is still there. How do I get this experience of this creation, Pralayam and all that? In the sleep state is a mini Pralayam for each one of us. Understand that pralayam, whenever the creation goes off, it is mini pralayam for us because sleep state is almost equivalent to the pralayam state. There is no body, there is no world. The sleep state also, there is no body. There is no, for me, the experiencer. Who is the experiencer? The Turiya. Ultimately, it is the pure consciousness only which experiences. The body is jadam. Right now in waking state, there is a reflection of consciousness, which is the illuminator of this body and the world. That is the Vedic view. So here Gaudapadacharya says, all objects in dream and in waking are illusions. They are seen, but they are regarded as unreal. That is what is his pratigna. That is his uh, that is his proposition. In the beginning, before Srishti Purva, before creation, Jagat is temporary. It cannot be reality because it dissolves in Pralaya. World has got no intrinsic existence, therefore it is Mithya. Fire, for example, is intrinsically hot. The heat of the fire is its nature. What about the water? Suppose you boil water. Can we say that the water, it is hot for experience? But the heat in the water, is it intrinsic or is it incidental? Suppose you keep the water for 2 days, the heat of the water will evaporate. The water will become almost like cold. So what do you get? What do you get from this example? Whatever has temporary existence, it does not have intrinsic existence. Another way is, whatever doesn't have intrinsic existence, it has got borrowed existence. The heat of the water is borrowed. The heat in the fire is intrinsic. Similarly, our body has got consciousness. That consciousness is intrinsic. What about the body? It comes and goes. It is born, it is gone. It comes in the waking, it goes in the dream, it goes off in the sleep state. Body is not permanent. So whatever has got borrowed existence is mithya. So can we say that if one is permanent, another is impermanent? Can we say there are two realities? It's not possible. There are two realities because one is dependent. One is dependent. The heat in the water is dependent, but the heat in the fire is independent. Though unreal, this world, the world appears to be real for uninformed people. For unwise ajnanis, unreal appears as real. For example, dream. Many people think that dream is also another world which is reality. But only when you come to Vedanta, you say that dream is unreal. Not only dream, you say even waking is unreal. That is another higher level of understanding. So we have to wake up from dream number one, which is our regular dream, which we wake up in our waking state. Then, when we come to the spiritual study, we say that the waking is dream number two. We wake up to the Turiya Atma without the world, which is pure existence consciousness. When we are able, when our mind is able to drop the world, it is called as internal sannyasa. External sannyasa, a sannyasi will take. You can take a orange robe, and then you can look at a person and say he is a sannyasi. But Bhagavad Gita, Shankaracharya, when he writes a commentary on the fourth chapter, he says a grihastha can also be a sannyasi, but he is an internal sannyasi. how internally he knows in his intellect that the world is false. And he knows what does he know? He knows that he is the pure consciousness. That is why in Kathopanishad, Tishtata, Jagrata, Prapya Varan, Nibodhata. Wake up to this higher knowledge of Atma. How is this knowledge of Atma? It is like a razor's edge. If you misunderstand this Atma, you will be down. You must walk this path very carefully. Atma is Satyam. World is Mithya. Understand the seventh mantra. Let it sink into your subconscious mind. And then you can say the waking world is also unreal. For a dreamer, this sentence which I'm now stating, it will come like 50 times in this whole 4 chapters. Shankaracharya repeats this. For a dreamer, in dream dream world is real. The dreamer thinks he is in the wakeful state in dream. If that is the dream world, what happens to the waking world? For a waker, in waking world is real. Now I think I am wakeful in the waking state. So wakefulness is there in both. It is there in dream, it is there in waking. So don't try to be in waking state and trying to understand. You have to be in the Turiyam state. Wake up to the Turiyam state, then say dream number 1, dream number 2 is false. To remain in the Turiyam state is being awakened to the reality. And when you are awakened to the reality, awakening to reality is not it's very simple. It's only your understanding has to be very sharp. Your intellect has to say, all my experiences are drishyam. I am the drik, seer. That seer doesn't have a body. And that seer is real. It is always there. That is its nature. Now, there are many Shruti Vakyams which talks about this Satyam and Mithya. Kathopanishad says, Neha Nanasti Kinchana. We have done Kathopanishad before. So those, you may remember that this particular verse, I have used verse also. This particular verse and Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmanaptam, these verses are all Mithya, proving that the world is Mithya and Atma is Satya. Neha Nanasti Kinchana. Again, this is analyzed even in Brahma Sutra. Very, very important. What do I understand? The world is not there. What is Satyam? Brahman is Satyam. A mind which can understand the difference between Brahman and the world, it is a Jnani's mind. It is a mind which has gone through the Upanishads. There is no other way of understanding and having this vision of the world. Nobody in any other philosophy, you cannot get this view of the world. In Bhagavad Gita, this verse is a very complicated verse. But when you come to Mandukya Upanishad, then this becomes very easy. Brahman is the oblation, Brahman is the butter, Brahman is all, whatever is there, which you are trying to do in a yajna. The goal of the yajna is also Brahman. So all the actions who is performing it is Brahman only at a higher level. The third verse, which talks about Mithyatvam of the world, is this Mandukya Upanishad, which says this Brahman, immortal Brahman, you can say consciousness, it is everywhere. It is above, it is below, it is at the back, it's in the front, but it is not visible. All this world is nothing but Brahman. It is like saying all the dream world is nothing but the waker's mind. We go one step further. All the waking world is nothing but the pure consciousness, which is a super waker. A super waker means it is Turiya. Okay. So this is how we should try to get a picture of our waking state. Now Shankaracharya writes this Bhashyam of this particular verse. And we'll go through this Bhashyam. Whatever is not there in the beginning, it is not there in the end, it is not there in the middle. That is the essence of this mantra. Adhav means before creation. Ante means after pralayam. So pragabhava and pradvamsi abhava. These are Sanskrit words. Simple thing is it didn't exist before. It doesn't exist later. Similarly, okay, if you have this vision of this world, or if you have this vision as per what Mandukya Upanishad is trying to give us, ask him, yesterday's world, where is it today? It's gone. All my past experiences is not there. My current experience will not be there anymore. So what does this mean? The old experiences of mine and the the future experiences are also not there. But what is there? That means what? At no time the experiences are real. They are available for being experienced. They are appearances. Exactly like the dream. Dream is an appearance. We are saying the waking is also an appearance. It is just happening somewhere inside the mind. As per the prarabdha karma, it is exactly like the mirage water and the sand. I am mistaking the sand. I don't know the sand. Therefore, I am mistaking, I am superimposing something which is not real on the sand. I don't know the rope. I am superimposing something, projecting something. Superimposing means what? My mind is saying, "Oh, there is a snake, there is a crack on the ground, or it is a pipe." And all these are all ideas which I am superimposing. It is a projection of the mind. That is why it is called as jnana adhyasa. So when you look at the hall consists of bricks only. Or take the example of pots. Pot is available for vyavahara. I use the pot to bring water, but ultimately what is it? Clay only. Similarly, ring, bangle, and all that. It is only nothing but clay. It is nothing but gold. So our body all we are experiencing in the world is nothing but pure consciousness. Like these examples, your mind should be able to travel in the direction of pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is there now or not? Yes, it is there. And what is the definition? It was there in the past, it is there now, it will be there in the future. Now, whenever I'm experiencing something in the world, How that consciousness is there? Gaudapadacharya says, or Shankaracharya says, the easiness of the world is the consciousness, or it is the sat aspect of that pure nature of existence. Easiness. Whenever we look at anything in the world, you say, yeah, my laptop is, my mic is, body is, the world is. That easiness does not belong to the world, it belongs to the Turiya Atma. Taittiriya Upanishad has got this mantra, and it says that pure consciousness itself transforms into the world. And then what happens? Having created that, that consciousness itself enters the body as a reflected consciousness and experiences the world. This is a very important concept in Vedanta called as Anupravesha. So this is Anupravesha Vakya. You will find it in almost every Upanishad. So that we try to understand, we don't try to say that there is, we should not say the world is one entity and consciousness is another entity. That mistake we should not make. That is what is the Advaitin philosophy. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, all those people say there is consciousness, one entity, independent entity, and there is world which is independent. Shankaracharya, in the fourth chapter of Mandukya, he will disapprove this and he says, if you are following this, you will never have moksha. So, what is Shankaracharya's theory? He says the waker creates or projects the dream world. Turiyam Brahman creates or projects the waking world. It is not a, it is, you can call it creation, but that creation is a wrong word. The right word for the world is, it is a projected world. Consciousness projects this world for us. It's like a projector projecting something on the screen, the movie. Similarly, that one light of consciousness projects all this waking state for us. Very difficult to believe, but it is a fact. As you go through these karikas, slowly your mind will change. The easiness of the world does not belong to the world. Easiness belongs to the pure consciousness, which I am in my sleep state. Again and again, I'm saying. The sleep state is the best example to understand the easiness. Are you there or not in the sleep state? Yes. That state in which you are there, but you're not conscious of the world, that is what is called as Turiya. You're not ignorant. You are a jnani. An ignorant person will say, I just went to sleep, I got up. That's all the knowledge he has about sleep. But a wise man, he will say, I was pure existence, pure consciousness in the sleep state of the body and mind. My state never has changed. So we have to come to this level of understanding. Thurium has got a temporary status of a waker, dreamer, or sleeper. In each of these temporary states, it has got a world. The dream world is a vasana world generated by the vasanas. The waking world is an objective world made up of panchabhutas. There are two different worlds. And what is the world in the sleep state? Ajnanam. total ignorance. My mind is totally swamped with ignorance, completely sunk. It has got no knowledge at all. From all this, what do I understand? World does not have intrinsic easiness. If you think that the waking world is real, then you are in dream number two. See what a bold statement the Shankaracharya is making. You are dreaming. Suppose you think the waking world is real. What he says is you are a dreamer because it is not. It is not real. Waking world is like a dream world or rope snake or mirage water. You are projecting the reality to the world in which the world doesn't have it. It is you who has the the the, the Turiya Atma, which is what my intrinsic nature. I have that existence. I have that consciousness. This is what is called as the adhyasa. The adhyasa of Atma is misunderstood as body. Body is misunderstood as the Atma. Anyonya adhyasa. This is what is adhyasa bhashyam. Try to remember the adhyasa bhashyam. See, whenever we analyze these karikas, keep at the back of your mind the adhyasa concept of pure consciousness without adhyasa. The moment I say body or world is real, it is adhyasa. So world didn't exist before, world doesn't exist after pralayam. Therefore, this world, which is Vyavaharika Satyam, the dream world is Pratibhasika Satyam, projected. Vyavaharika means made of Panchabhutas where we can do interactions. Pratibhasika means it is only a projection of the mind. It is a vasana mind. That is also Satyam. But Satyam means what? It is relative truth. Waking is relative truth. Dream is relative truth. But what about Turiyam, in which there is no world at all? That is Paramarthika Satyam. Shankaracharya says, all those people who think that waking world, dream world, they are all asleep. They are all mudas. They are all ignorant people. A jnani alone is aware of the Turiya Atma. And what does he say? It is the adhishtanam. It is the substratum of all the three states. Yatra yatra anityatvam, tatra tatra vitatvam. Whenever there is anitya, anitya means it is impermanent. You can draw a conclusion that it is mithya. This is the Tarkika way, the logical way of trying to prove that the world is false. Shankaracharya says, learn to stand on Turiyam first by Mahavakya Vichara. What is Mahavakya Vichara? Mahavakyam says, you take yourself, drop the incidental attributes, and hold on to the intrinsic attribute. Drop the body mind, hold on to the consciousness, which is the individual. With reference to the world, you drop the incidental attributes of the experienceability and so many things. What you keep what you retain is easiness. The Sat in the world, the Chit in the Atma, in the individual, you retain it. When you do this, it is called as standing on Turiya. This is the process. This is the way Mahavakya has to be understood. Here Gaudapada Shankaracharya says, this is the way you stand with the help of Mahavakya Vichara. How do you apply it in with reference to Mandukya? Incidental is the waker dreamer sleep. I drop. I hold on to the Turiya. Similarly, the world. Whenever the waker is there, the waking world is there. So drop the world, waking world. Similarly, the dream world and the sleep world. Hold on to the adhishtanam. Okay. The revision portion. Okay, this is all I have explained to you. Second chapter is Prapanchopashamam. Third chapter is Advaitam. Turiyam is Prapanchopashamam and Advaitam. That is what we have been discussing. Chapter 2 and 3, Gaudapada reconfirms the message of the Shruti by yukti, by logical reasonings. What are the two logical anumanams, inferences used? One is Drishyatvat Mithya, Karika number 5. Karika number 6, Karika number 5 is Shankaracharya's reasoning. Karika number 6 is where Gaudapadacharya's reasoning, Anityatvat Mithya. And Turiya Jnanam is the ultimate knowledge. Accepting this, we can say there is the world of experiences which are relative truth. Waker, dreamer, sleeper is a relative truth, but the absolute truth is Turiyam Brahman. And Turiyam, how do I try to understand this Turiyam? Turiyam alone has got existence and consciousness. In the body right now, am I existent? Am I conscious? Yes. I have to remove that existence consciousness separately and take out the body portion separately. Body portion anyway will go away. But while living, I must understand I am the Turiya Atma. Now that gives me the benefit of Jivan. Now, Turiyam exists by itself. This is very, very important. Always when you try to understand Turiyam, you should know that Satyam Jnanam Anantam, it is independently existing. Now, in many of the mantras which we have learned in several Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita, this aspect of Turiyam being independent is mentioned. Some of the mantras where it is quoted are, I've given you some mantras here, Taittiriya, Kaivalya, Gita, okay, Mandukya Upanishad, okay. All right, I think I have given you most of it. So 26, okay. There are 26 mantras which I have quoted here, which are all mantras of Mithya word and Turiyam as Satyam. Mandukya Upanishad. Let's go one by one. You will be able to understand. If I go through some of the things in the top I have put the first line of many mantras, and then below I have tried to give you as many mantras, actual mantras as possible. These are all Shruti Vakyam. Now, Shruti also says world is Mithya and Satyam is this pure consciousness or Turiyam. In Bhagavad Gita, I'll just go through this first and then we'll go through the actual mantras. Jyotisham Jyotihi. Many people remember this mantra from Bhagavad Gita. Jyotisham Jyotihi means what? It is the light of the light. It is the light behind our sense organs. Consciousness is the light behind the sense organs. If that is the truth, what is the world then? Neha nanasti kinchana. World is not the truth, but the light is the truth. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam. That light of consciousness cannot be illuminated by any light which is in the world. That is Turiyam. It is absolute truth. What about the camphor light which I am trying to show in front of the God? God is that pure light of consciousness. So the meaning of Natattara Surya Bhati is it is the light of Turiya. Neti Neti Vachanaihi. That means you drop the world by Neti Neti. That means what? You're dropping everything in the world. The waking world, the dream world, sleep world. Yato Vacho Nivartante. This is from Taittiriya Upanishad. Neti Neti is from Vedantic Upanishad. Now Tatra Surya Bhati comes in Mandukya Upanishad, Kathopanishad. Neha Nanasti Kinchana is Kathopanishad. Yatho Vacho Nivartante. The words do not reach Brahman. Words do not reach Turiyam. Taittiriya Upanishad. Mayeva Sakalam Jatam. The Turiyam is the one in which the whole world gets resolved. Kaivalya Upanishad. Yato va imani bhutani. This is again Taittiriya Upanishad. That means all the bhutas. Bhutas means where all the living beings resolve. That is what is Turiya. Pratiboda Viditam. Pratiboda Viditam means it is Keno Upanishad. Before the knowledge of anything in the world, consciousness is Pratibodaha. It is before the knowledge. Whatever you may think, whatever your mind can think, it is Turiya. Shrotrasya Shrotram, Keno Upanishad. The light behind the ears, the light behind the eyes, the light behind the prana to function, the light behind it is the Turiya. Brahmarpanam Brahmavi. Everything which in the world is resolved in Brahman, which is Turiya. Naiva tasya kritena artaha comes in Bhagavad Gita. The one Turiyam is unconnected with the world. Uttama Purushaha. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it talks about the same Turiyam. See, whenever all these mantras they talk about the Turiyam, the focus is on the truth. When the Upanishads or the Bhagavad Gita focuses on the truth, you should understand the world is dropped. Whenever you understand these verses, you will understand that the teaching is Brahman, Turiya is the truth. In Kathopanishad, 11 times Yamadharmaraja says, Etadvaitad, Etadvaitad. We have done the meditation in the Katho, in the Saturday classes. Then Chandogya Upanishad, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. That is the Turiyam which you wanted to know. Again and again repeated. Nirvana Shatkam, all the mantras, they talk about Turiyam alone. Achintyam, Aksharam, Adrishyam. All these words, wherever you see Achintyam, Achintyam in mind cannot think. Again, what? It is imperishable. Aksharam, Mandukya Upanishad. Again talks of Turiya, Brahman, Atma, Adrishyam, Avyavaryam, which is what we have been discussing so far in Mandukya. Viparilopaha. Viparilopaha comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, and where it says that the witness nature of consciousness never ends. It is never born, It never ends. It's always there. Witness consciousness. That is why that witness consciousness is there in sleep state, where you see that as a witness, if you become aware of that witness, you will realize that you are talking about the unmanifest nature of this world. Till you are able to see that through your intellect, you will not be able to get convinced that the world is got two conditions. Na anta prajnam, that is Mandukya Upanishad. Sayaschayam Purushe, again Mahavakyam from Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam Jnanam Anantam, all these things are all linked to this Turiyam. And whenever you talk about Turiyam, you must remember the world is Mithya. Available for experience, it has got utility, it has got experienceability, and it has got transactability. In spite of that, we say it is not there. Okay. Now, Mandukya Upanishad, so these are all some of the mantras which came to my mind, which talks about this Turiyam exists by itself. The world does not exist by itself. Some of the mantras I've been able to put it across in this selection of mantras. Let's quickly go through them. Mandukya Upanishad, Hiranmaye Pare Koshe Virajam Brahma Nishkalam. This pure Atma, it is the light of all the lights. Hiranmayam. Hiranmayam means it is bright, golden light. And it is the innermost sheath of our existence. All the wise people, they know that this is the Atma. Katha Upanishad, I have already discussed. Vedantic Upanishad, again, this says that the world is Mithya. World, whatever all the pleasures, all the joys, all the delights which we are experiencing are all Mithya. They exist, but ultimately they are unreal. Neti Neti is this message of Neti Neti. It comes 3 or 4 times in Vedantic Upanishad. This is one of the times. And then Satyasya Satyam Iti. This is another beautiful verse in Vedantic Upanishad, 2nd chapter. Satyasya Satyam means what? The world is Satyam. But there is another Satyam which is higher Satyam than the world, which is Turiya. See, all these mantras are so powerful. When you read it together like this, the impact on the mind is, oh, definitely Turiyam is there. And all these mantras are revealing that Turiyam alone. Yatho vacho nivartante, mind cannot reach Turiyam, speech cannot reach Turiyam, but it exists. Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, very famous mantra, verse number 19 of Kaivalya. Taittiriya Upanishad, Yatova Imani Bhutani, which I just now referred, the mantra is here. That from which things are born, that from which the things exist, that which into which they depart, means what? Take the example of sleep state, take the example of waking state. From Turiyam only all the world is born in the waking state. Into Turiyam only all the world is resolved. Therefore, what is the world? In between we experience in the world, but in between what we experience is not the real thing. What is real is whatever is there permanently, it is always there, which is Turiya. Keno Upanishad, these are all very, very important mantras of Upanishads, very beautiful collection. If you want to really meditate on some of this, very, very nice. Pratibodha Viditam Matam. You can get immortality only by knowing Turiyam. Only by knowing Pratibodha Viditam. What is behind every knowledge? Objective knowledge, there is, behind all objective knowledge, there is consciousness. Shrotrasya Shrotram. What is behind the ears, the five sense organs? It is this light of consciousness. Brahmarpanam, I just explained to you, everything in the world is nothing but Brahman. Brahman is in the left, it is in the right, it is above, it is below, because it is everything. The existence in the world is given by Brahman alone. This verse in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Naiva tasya krite nartaha. I don't do anything at all. But all actions, they depend on me only. Because I am the consciousness which gives the life to all the bodies. Chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita, very beautiful verse. Uttama Purusha Swanyaha, Paramatme tu Dakrataha, Yolokatrema Yolokatrayam Abhishyaha, Vibartevya Ishvaraha. I am not the Shara Purusha and Akshara Purusha, but I am Uttama Purusha. Lord Krishna says, I am not a perishable world, I am not the imperishable world, but I am something beyond both perishable and imperishable. Perishable is what is seen, imperishable what is not seen. Muta prapancha, amurta prapancha. But I am ultimate. Katha Upanishad, this verse, whoever knows this Turiya, he becomes fearless in life. There is no more fear at all for him. Again, Etad Vaitat mantras. I have given 2 or 3 mantras here. Oh, all these mantras of Etad Vaitam are here. I won't go through this because you already have gone through the entire meditation on all this. These are all Etad Vaitat mantras. See how many Etad Vaitat mantras are there. This is what you wanted to know, Nachiketa. This is what you wanted to know, Nachiketa. So many times, Lord Yama repeats this. And then in Chandogya Upanishad, 9 times the same teacher says, Tattvamasi, you are that Turiya. Again, the student Shvetagauti says, Sir, please explain to me again. My intellect is very gross. I'm not able to understand this Turiya Atma. Again, the teacher says, I will explain to you again. Again, he gives an example. So, in all this, what we understand, Tuyam alone lends existence to the 3 states. Therefore, we call it as Adhishtanam. This Turiyam is Sakshi. It is a guru who awakens me to this Turiyam nature through the scriptures which have been quoted now. So stand on this Turiyam and then look at your waking exactly like how you stand on Waker and look at the dream world. With this, the 6th mantra is over. Next week, we will start the 7th Karika. See, it takes so much time to explain one Karika. Okay, we did 5th and 6th mantras today. It takes time, but this is a very detailed way of study. See, when you go through 15, 16 Upanishadic mantras, it is a long, long type of study. Bhashyam study is not easy because it will change you, it will transform you. That is the beauty of Bhashyam. Okay, so I will stop here. Next week we will start. Next week on Saturday, I'm going to start Prashno Upanishad Bhashyam. I just want to announce to some people who are interested from this group, you can join on Saturday if you have the time. Or we sent a link to join and you just get the recordings and you can learn the Bhashyam or Prashno Upanishad on your own whenever you have the free time. So we will send you a link to join that group. Okay, with this, I will close today's session on Mandukya. Oh, Namada, Namidam, Purnat, Namudachate, Purnasya, Purnamathaya, Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. There are no messages in the chat box. So if you have any questions or any comments on what we have studied today, yeah, Nandu, please go ahead. You have presented in the chat box a very beautiful mantra, Prathasparanam mantra. It is also a very, very nice mantra. It talks about Turiya Atma. Thanks for reminding us. So
Yeah, I think
what
this
this
is
mantra says is, whenever you wake up in the morning, try to remember Turiyam first when you wake up. Turiyam, what do you mean by the Turiyam? Whatever we have studied in the seventh mantra, in all these mantras which we discussed today, when you just say, I am the pure consciousness, I am the Turiya Atma, as soon as you wake up, what will happen to you? You will go through your entire day very, very easily. You will not be affected at all. Try this out. It's a very simple thing. See, but for this, you should know what is Turiya. It's a very, very powerful mantra. Thank you, Nandu, for giving us. Can you tell us something more about this?
Yeah, I think this is Acharya's beautiful mantra,
Yes,
Pratasmaran. I think this is a very, very good one. As in like a prayer, a lot of places it is like mentioned. And the one thing I think you mentioned several like mantras talking about like Turiyan, and just like my understanding, just to add in that a few of the mantras as per like my understanding. Like in when we recite like Ganpati Atharva Shesha, and we mention like our Paschatata, our Purastata, Uttaratata. So actually that is the explanation from Brahman only.
correct,
And yeah, and that something similar came in the Chandogya Upanishad also. I think Sanat Kumara is mentioning that to Narad Maharshi.
correct.
Similar mantra is came. And in couple of sessions, you mentioned about one beautiful word about like asprusha, which was like something like new word. And for the something similar came in Brahadaraneka is like asangoya purusha. So the
Yes,
purusha which is having not like any attachment and everything. And when we close our like prayers and we mention like Om Purnamada Purnamidam. So everything is like that. It's something I as per my understanding is exactly the same what we recite about like Gita Shlok Brahma Arpana Brahmavi. So
yes,
that everything is within that only. That's
correct.
little my understanding. Yeah.
Very beautiful. That's right. See, as you become a senior seeker, you should be able to connect all these verses. See, that is the beauty of Bhashyam. When you study the Bhashyam, Shankaracharya helps you to quote and see different mantras from so many different directions. So what you're saying is very, very important. Uh, whatever mantras you have talked about, they are very, very relevant. And if you are able to pick up the knowledge, even just by a few listening to some of these bhashyams, if you see what will happen, I'll tell you. As you go through these bhashyam studies, what will happen is there will be one or two areas in where Shankaracharya will reveal this and it will click for you. For each one, it may be a different mantra. It can be a different area. It can be Turiya Upanishad. It can be Katha Upanishad. Anyatra dharma. You can be any mantra, but it will click. As you go through these bhashyams, it's 100% guarantee of the Upanishads. Anybody who does shravanam, listening, he will understand his real nature. And once you get to know this is my pure consciousness, you'll feel blessed. You'll feel fulfilled in life. That fulfillment you can never express. You don't know what to tell about that fulfillment. The words cannot express. But that is the benefit of this study. Once you get the fulfillment in your own self, the whole life is fragrant. It has got meaning. It has got some purpose. And whatever purpose by which you have taken birth in this body, you have fulfilled it. That's what Shankaracharya says at the end of Mandukya Upanishad. He says, you have fulfilled your life taking birth in this life, which is so precious. Thank you, Nanda. Very, very good. I'm glad you were able to bring in so many different thoughts from so many different directions, all pointing to the same area. Good, excellent mind you have. Anybody else has any other points to say today? If there are no other comments, then we will close, and then we will start next week. We'll continue the Mandukya Upanishad, and as you study, like I said, a lot of your doubts will get slowly removed. It will get cleared. These doubts are there intrinsically. It's there in our subconscious mind. But when they get removed, then what happens is a clarity of knowledge will give you something which you cannot express. Okay, thank you. Namaste. We'll see you all next week.
Hariom.
Thank you so much, Hariom.
Hariom.
Thank you.
Hariom. Thank you.
Thank you, Hariom.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Hariom.